Blood for the Blood God. Skulls for the Skull Throne. You're going to be hearing a lot of that in this video. Hey folks, my name is Pravus. Welcome to Total War Warhammer 3. You guys might have heard that a new set of DLCs called the Omens of Destruction is being released, offering reworks for some interesting factions, including the Ogres, the Orc Boys, and my personal favorite of the bunch, Khorne! No, not that Khorne! We're going to be taking a look at that faction rework, but before we begin, I want to say a very big thank you to Sega for sponsoring today's video. This is very exciting for me, and I've been having a lot of fun. If you guys would like to learn more about the Omens of Destruction DLC, you can find a link in the description down below. But without any further ado, let's begin. Now, normally your Khorne faction would be led by Skarbrand the Exiled, and I love this guy. He is a behemoth. But today we are putting him aside in favor of the new legendary lord, Skulltaker. And he is exactly what you would think he is, a demon who takes skulls. Specifically, he is a champion of the Bloodletters and a duelist who seeks out worthy foes to slaughter and weave their skulls into his cape, thereby taking their essence for his own. Now, on face value, you might think this guy is just objectively worse than Skarbrand because his stat lineup is not quite as good, but he does have a couple of interesting and unique mechanics just for him, which means he scales in a unique way. But to demonstrate, I must first spill some blood. And fortunately, there is a champion of Tzeentch nearby. Now, I want to point out that there is this little icon above his head. 16 champions' essence can be obtained by fighting this lord, which is exactly what Skulltaker is looking for. Now, if you've never unleashed the bloodthirsty powers of Khorne before, it's actually a remarkably straightforward process. You simply take your heavy infantry, usually Bloodletters, and put them in the front, plus your fast-moving units on the flanks, and then you charge blindly into the enemy screaming, "Blood for the Blood God!" the entire time. The problem with Khorne is he has no missile units. That's for cowards. We like to get in the face of our enemies and watch their expressions as we slit them open and bathe in their blood. But if you can get into the forces, your units are remarkably powerful in the early game. They have very weak armor and they're slow, but they have lots of damage and armor piercing. Your biggest challenge, honestly, is using your fast-moving units just to disrupt their own missiles, otherwise your infantry can get shredded. And that does not serve the purposes of Khorne. And in the meantime, make good use of Skulltaker to seek out and slaughter the enemy lord. Engage in honorable combat. Destroy him, and if he tries to run, no problem. Shackle him to the ground using the Blood God's power. There is nowhere for you to flee, Kihar the Shaken, now the Wavering. Your army flees, fool, and now you are alone. And with your death, Skulltaker grows more powerful. Not only have I received some of the skulls of my enemies, which shall please Karnith greatly, but I now receive Champion's Essence. Alas, in order to show you how this can empower the Cloak of Skulls, I need 25 Champion's Essence. So we need to immediately start seeking our next fight. And generally speaking, this is how Khorne plays. You are always looking for your next fight. If you're not always at war, you are doing something wrong. And actually, that'll lead me to a few other changes that have fundamentally changed all of the Khorne factions. The Skull Throne in particular has seen a rework. It used to be that there was a button here in the center, you'd throw a few skulls Khorne's way, he'd be pleased, and you get some buffs. But now we have several different buffs to choose from, and the more skulls we give to our god, the more powerful we will be able to become. Perhaps, for example, I would like to unlock the army ability to summon some Bloodletters behind my enemy's front line, causing mayhem and chaos amongst their archers. Or we could increase the income of all post-battle loot, which seems pretty smart. We start with a pretty decent number of skulls, so I don't see any reason not to go ahead and click some of these buttons whenever I can. Technology has also been completely reorganized for the Khorne factions. Now it is organized into a set of different pillars instead of the weird blocky stuff it was before. That got a little frustrating. I think it might make sense to get even more income from our post-battle loots, though do be aware that many technologies require skulls as well. There are many different uses for skulls, it turns out. Khorne is very innovative in that way. Khorne's army has also received some new units for its roster, mostly specialized units like halberdiers to deal with cavalry or enemy large units. Nothing that quite supplants your heavy infantry center column, but still pretty nice to have for utility. I do think it might be worth using another special unholy manifestation, the Eternal War. Summon a hostile army to attack me immediately. Now this may seem very bizarre, why on earth would you want to do this? Answer: 1, to get more skulls. 2, to get more bloodletting on my armies so that they gradually get more powerful and reduce their upkeep. And 3, because I will get some additional movement points after defeating the army. Which means we'll have enough range to then go forth and slaughter that settlement in the same first turn. So let's move forward and destroy. Now, if you want to occupy a settlement, you can. It will cost you a lot of skulls to do so, and generally is not a very good idea. Instead, what's usually better is to first sack the settlement in order to gain all the loot plus some replenishment, and then we'll return next turn in order to properly raise this settlement to the ground. But why not occupy the territory, you might say? Because Khorne does not believe in building empires. We care not for the economy, nor for defenses. That is a worry for the cattle that we are leading to the slaughter. No, we don't build empires, we break empires. And we'll probably end up getting the territory eventually anyway. You'll see. When it comes to leveling up my lords, I do think that going down some of the blue line down here on the bottom can make the most sense, especially to sustain my campaign, have a bit of extra movement range, and so on. Speed is important. Though, unlike with Skarbrand, I do think there's something to say about going for the red line here for Skulltaker, boosting up his leadership capabilities. Because one of the unique effects of Skulltaker is he can boost up the power of nearby bloodletters, granting them the Frenzy ability, which means more damage, more armor piercing, more charge bonus, and more melee attack. So more leadership range, not a bad idea if you want to go down that route. Khorne also has this lovely ability to start replenishing your soldiers even if you are not in your own territory, which is very, very useful. Moving to the next turn, we can revisit this same settlement we had before, easily destroy this army, enjoy a few more skulls. And now, rather than sack it again while it has no loot, we are simply going to either collect additional skulls for the Skull Throne, or perform blood rites and summon a blood host. Now, this does cost me quite a few skulls, but it's well worth it. Because not only is the settlement properly destroyed, but we just gained a free army. Now, these blood hosts cannot be replenished, and if they do not fight for a long time, I believe they eventually will take attrition and die. So consider this to be very temporary, but they can certainly wreak a lot of havoc in the meantime. And having destroyed the settlement, we also completed some missions getting me more Champion's Essence. Now that I have more than 25, let's take a look at the Cloak of Skulls. This is a unique power for Skulltaker, weaving the essence into the skulls of his cape and granting some interesting powers. To start, we could perhaps increase the amount of experience that we gain with this character whenever we defeat enemy lords. Literally, the more powerful they are, the more of their experience we steal. That could be interesting. Could also get the passive ability Cloak of Skulls, giving Skulltaker some much-needed armor and missile resistance, but only if he has already slaughtered 40 enemies in a fight, so not immediately. Or whenever we defeat an enemy lord, we get another 10% campaign movement, which means we can seek more fights in the same turn. Honestly, all of these are good. I'm gonna go for the experience, though. There are multiple levels to a lot of these abilities, and as you complete them, you can see we unlock new ones. For example, the ability to simply travel to an enemy lord. Teleportation! Who saw that coming? More bonuses versus infantry for every empowerment we've got. Blood hosts are replenished whenever they defeat a lord. Tons of corruption for defeating lords. More skulls, of course, always good. A chance for your units to get restored instead of dying if they fall in battle. Wow. And then more melee defense and so on. Yeah, this is how Skulltaker suddenly becomes worthy of challenging Skarbrand. It takes a while to build up, but if you can, oh, it's good. So you can imagine seeing this juicy 42 Champion's Essence looks really quite good, doesn't it? Now you might be thinking, well, okay, hang on, but destroying everything's great, but how do you actually build up your economy? Well, these little settlements over here may look useless for now, and at the moment, they are currently unavailable for anyone to colonize. But given some time, we do have the ability to automatically colonize any ruins in my provinces at the beginning of a turn, as bands of murderers and marauders are attracted to the corruption of Karnith. Don't get too excited, though. These new settlements that we're going to be sacking and then raising are not going to give me much of an economy regardless. Because again, I don't build things. I don't worry about such stupid things as money. That's ridiculous. At level 6, Skulltaker does get a blood throne of his own, a mighty demon engine, which makes him a little scary. He's gonna be a speedy boy now. Ah, notice over here, Chakwa has indeed been recolonized for Khorne. So now we could use this to try and boost up our power in some way or another. Chaos Warriors of Khorne would not be a bad addition into our army. A shielded unit that can tank the front line. Sure, we'll go ahead and build that up. Now, one of the problems you're gonna have with these blood hosts is their bloodlust is only sated for a while. After a certain number of turns, they begin taking some attrition that they cannot recover from. So in the early game, at the very least, you're mostly using these as some extra reinforcements to guarantee that your hero is able to win some fights quickly. And you gotta keep doing that, otherwise your bloodletting is going to start to fall. Still, all the reinforcements ends up making for a pretty easy early game if you're careful. Oh my gosh, we just took out this settlement over here with just a simple free blood host. That's all we did, and I'm gonna get 5,000 skulls, or I could get myself a whole load of favor. Oh man. Really hard to say no to 5,000 skulls, to be honest, especially since I can't replenish. Don't forget that there is a bunch of armament research as well, so now that I have Slaughterer's Pride, we can use an ability that makes it so our units cannot die, even if they are about to normally despawn from demonic instability. What else can make sense, though? Warborn technology, cheaper infantry with more ranks. Yeah, I have a lot of infantry as Khorne. Or I can make it so I get more speed for my blood hosts in battle, or even more outside of battle in the campaign map mode, which can be pretty useful. Just keep spawning blood hosts and send them to raid my enemies. It's not a bad plan. But I think what I want to do is work toward things like spoils of battle, another 25% income from sacking settlements, which we will be doing all the time. Or work down the Pillar of Wrath, harvest more skulls. I get the extra movement speed for my blood hosts for now, just so that they are able to move around and keep up with Skulltaker. I do have to be a little bit concerned about a very large army over here. Oh boy. But if he's just gonna keep running away from me, hey, so much the better. I'll take your capital. It's gonna be mine. Now that we have complete control over this region, we can issue a commandment. Now what would make sense here? Start spreading Khorne's corruption to adjacent provinces, making it a little bit easier for me to conquer them? Maybe. I certainly don't care much about the blood tributes and the income. To be honest, I'm going to be running a nasty deficit this entire game, sustained entirely through the war economy. So yeah, let's go ahead and just start spreading our corruption. Now, this settlement here I will go ahead and occupy. We have the skulls to go around, and simply by occupying this, we will be able to start taking the ruins for ourselves, eventually. Now, one major thing that has been changed in this DLC, though, it used to be that these blood hosts, yeah, they would really drain away a lot of your economy because each of them had an upkeep. So at some point, if they ever got too wounded or they were just going to give XP to the enemy, you just go ahead and disband them. But now, in this DLC, they actually do not cost any upkeep at all. So it is a little bit easier to build up a proper empire, but I don't think Karnith would look very approvingly on that, so I'm not going to worry about it. Ah, and our capital has reached level 3. Fun. That means I'll be able to get higher level armies for Karnith. Bloodletting's getting too low. We need more bloodshed. Besides, this guy's got 56 champion essence. It's going to be a tough fight. But the glorious hosts of Karnith are eager for more mayhem and destruction. But now that we have some simple Chaos Warriors in the front line to absorb a lot of the hits, with the Bloodletters behind them, this should be pretty easy for us. Biggest issue is my enemy has the high ground. I do not relish fighting up there. That's going to be terrible. Maybe we should go the long way around. What do you guys think? I think so. I'm not falling into that trap, alright? Terrain does matter in Warhammer 3. If we're fighting uphill, that's gonna suck for me. Yeah, I'm watching my opponent gradually shifting. He is not willing to charge, but I am not giving him that high ground. Ridiculous. In fact, if he's gonna be a coward about it, I can actually force him to give up the high ground. Then I'll have it. That'd be hilarious. Gotta make your move soon, though, buddy. I got reinforcements on the way. Alright, fools, you had your chance. Here we come. Just gotta go fast now. They've got missiles. And again, if there's anything I'm weak to, it's missiles. Oh, you've got magic. Khorne does not approve of magic. I have basically no spells of my own. There's your hero. Let's go ahead and summon some bloodletters right behind these archers. That's gonna upset them for sure. Oh, their hero flew away. Coward, I wanted that champion essence. Victory for Khorne. All right, we'll just run down as many of them as we can. You having fun there, Skulltaker? On your weird little flesh motorcycle thing? Overall, I'd call these some pretty resounding numbers. Oh gosh, Khorne can be so strong with his infantry. 600 skulls for that one. Not bad. And of course, we are going to sack this, then return to create a new blood host. Wait, the enemy did die. Oh, I still did get all the champion's essence. Wonderful. And apparently I've received a new mount. Forget the stupid chariot. Now I have a juggernaut. It's not quite as impressive as a meat motorcycle, but I mean, it's probably a bit more maneuverable and practical. Now, of course, after defeating my second enemy, the question always remains, who is my next target? Where do I see a lot of attacks of opportunity? There's quite a few up here to the north, I suppose. Could also try to hook over to the west, take all of this down, and then go south and kill the lizardmen. Honestly, it doesn't really matter too much which direction we go, as long as we're always killing someone. What should I do with all of this champion essence? Teleport to enemies? Maybe. Could instead boost up both the Blood God Shackles and the Cloak of Skulls to make them twice as good as they are but right now. That's really good. But then, of course, there's just 50% of the experience of a defeated lord for Skulltaker, which means he levels up really quickly. Oof, I like this idea. Yeah, let's go ahead and empower there. A high-level Skulltaker is a scary Skulltaker. Oh, Bianca Morian, you came back. Very kind of you. And also unbelievably foolish. And now I am gonna sack the settlement properly. Blood for the Blood God. God, Skulltaker's leveling up really fast. He's already level 12. And this ability we have right here is amazing for us. Replenish 30% of campaign movement range after winning a battle. Very nice. We'll boost that even further now that I can get all the way to the end of the blue tree. Renowned and feared, less upkeep, and more campaign movement range. It's all about speed at this point, guys. It really is. We did activate another unholy manifestation. Take control of a targeted unoccupied ruin automatically. Sure, why not? You just get access to these the more you spread your corruption throughout the land. We've done a pretty good job so far. Boom. I'm really not trying to build an empire. I just sort of seem to be ironically doing it anyway. Oh, hello. Alright, so this expedition just declared war on me. Fine. Come to meet me in the glorious battle. I'm good with that. Oh, they did, actually. Right. Well, this is gonna suck for my blood hosts. Probably gonna win, though. Just took so much damage, I'm not gonna be able to make much use of this anymore, which slows us down a bit. The flesh is a canvas for Khorne. Your champion has proven themselves. They must carve a great scar in their own flesh. Scar the body and become an iron hide, or scar the face, enemy leadership goes down. Much as I like extra defense traits, if we get him a high enough level, he'll be pretty hard to kill anyway. But crushing their leadership so that they flee before me, now that could make a difference. By the way, did you leave this village over here completely empty? I think you might have. Not quite, but we should still be able to win this. Barely, but we will. I'm basically just sacrificing this blood host since it's already very damaged and getting some extra value out of it. Now, you can summon another blood host using a blood host, but I'm pretty sure it ends up being a lot weaker. So maybe I just take the skulls. Yeah, more skulls for the Skull Throne. Maybe now would be a good time to empower this skull. Even more campaign movement whenever we defeat an enemy lord. It's all about speed, man. All about speed. Also, more skulls for the Skull Throne. Boom. And by doing this, we are now up to level 2, so I can start spending even more skulls to get bigger benefits. Wow, 3 extra ranks when recruiting new units? Okay. A passive ability, Hungering Blades for all armies. Wow, that's just ridiculous. Look how much more damage we'd get. Or more growth and control in all provinces. Meh, it's not bad, Carnith. It's not bad. I'm not complaining. It's fine. What annoys me is that the hero over here is apparently fleeing this Temple of Kara. He wants to go and destroy my tiny little blood host. Go ahead, man. It's got 4 units left. What a wonderful use of your time. In that case, more blood for the Blood God. How else do I want to continue leveling up Khorne? Let's go ahead and boost up our bloody onslaught even further. We have so much casualty replenishment rate with what I've got right now. And the fact that we can properly replenish even in enemy territory means this one army can really sustain itself for a long time. Very strong. I'm liking Skulltaker. I know, he's certainly no Scar brand, but he's pretty darn good. Oh, coward little guy, he's running from Skulltaker. Maybe we should summon another army to fight Skulltaker so he can get more skulls, and he has just enough movement to attack again. Go! Can't run this time, loser. Oh, there's 2 lords in this army. Oh, I'm gonna devour so much essence. Oh, so much blood. Use the cavalry, thread the needle. There's your archers, get them! Oh my gosh, these guys are getting absolutely wrecked. Unsurprisingly. My freaking bloodletters are amazing. I know it's an extremely straightforward gameplay style, alright? Playing with Khorne here. But like, he's just elegant in his simplicity. Think all of his units are fleeing? They sure are. And his lord is down. Well done, Skulltaker. Leave none alive. I want to bathe in their blood. Playing as Khorne, man, it does something to your brain. And it's glorious. 42 losses, killed over 1,100 of them. Look, I know Karneth cares not whose blood flows so long as it does flow. But as a player, I must say, it's immensely satisfying to make sure that it's their blood that's flowing, and in rivers of it. 471 more skulls. Yeah. Is this enough to get to the next town? Maybe. Certainly enough to get to this next hero. Oh, you poor sad fool. Run from me. That's right. Ceaseless Determination. Well, there's a good freaking ability. Another 10% campaign movement every time you win a battle. Are you seeing the theme here? Oh, and also Legacy of Blood. Whenever you win a battle, the local province is marked by Khorne and slows down enemies, so they don't even get to run from me. Uh-oh, what's happening over here? We got a quest, the Slayer's Sword. Win the following battle with Skulltaker's army to get the really, really powerful Slayer's Sword. Yeah, sounds great. I'd have to go all the way to World's Edge Mountains, though, huh? That's a long ways away. We'll say that's a long-term goal. Wait, I could teleport? I guess if I had unlocked that, we could just go and try to take it, sure. Then I'd be stuck over here for a while, but I guess Khorne wouldn't care. Now, this settlement here, I think we do need to occupy as the provincial capital. Though I could sack it first, maybe, but, I don't know. Does it actually make sense to first sack and then occupy? Not taking the risk. Let's just occupy it now. Boom, done. I'm a little bit short on skulls right now for the Skull Throne, which feels bad. Means I'm not killing enough. More death. More bloodshed. The Dark Elves over here see exactly what's happening. Oh, please, not aggression pact. No. No, 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 no. Your blood shall flow. Oh, you insufferable. They went and they just killed the last straggler over here. I don't get to take that guy's essence. I mean, you were already going to die, but like, now I'm really gonna kill you. Give me that 18 essence. Thank you. And with the extra movement speed, we run in here, and this settlement is completely unoccupied. Okay. Blood for the Blood God? I don't see any reason not to, since we get no other benefit. Where's your capital? It's over here in the Blood Hall? I can get that. Just want to make sure I take a settlement or fight something every single turn. Every single turn. I'm going to start training up a second army. I think it is time for us to do that. It's going to cost me a lot of my money, but it's probably fine. The thing that annoys me right now is I have to travel by sea to go and kill off these Dark Elves. It's slow to move around by the sea, and in the meantime, my army is losing their murder spree. Won't someone just let me kill them? But the Dark Elves are going to lose everything that they know and love. Could occupy this one as well. Probably should. I'm gonna sack it first, though. And then we'll spend the skulls to occupy it. Oh, yeah. Always do that, I guess. I guess it's time to go ahead and unlock the teleportation ability, which opens up several new skulls that I can begin to empower. Oh, I just noticed that each one of these have a name in the top left, representing the different champions he's killed. Not like from this campaign. I don't think it's remembering that. I assume it's the same for every campaign, but still, that's kind of a fun twist. Oh, Horatio, I knew him well. I killed him and drank his blood. So, I am now able to instantly travel to enemy lords. Left-click the travel button to view the possible targets. Traveling will cost half of the champion's essence. Interesting. Oh, it's supposed to be this thing down here. The arrow was pointing at the wrong thing. Got it, okay. So it takes a certain amount of champion's essence for me to be able to make that, transportation. Also, we don't have enough enemies. Oh, I will soon, don't worry. Should we become a Skull Master? I think so. Prevent all healing for my enemies. And also, whenever they get down to 20% hit points, we instantly kill them. More Dark Elves saying, please, for the love of God, give us a non-aggression pact. They'll even bribe me. No, 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 no. You're my next target. A victim? I don't know how you want to say it. Either way, it's not going to be good for you. I think this should be disabled, by the way. There is a quest that I have to sign an aggression pact with somebody, and I'll gain favor. Pardonnez-moi, I do not think that Khorne looks favorably upon saying I'm not going to commit violence. I get why all the other factions have it, but for at least the Khorne faction, it should be disabled. That's my opinion. Ooh, 62 champion essence over here. Who the heck are you? Looks like some bunch of lizards. Yeah, I don't even think it's one superpowered hero. I think it's a couple of them that are halfway decent. Ooh, I gotta find you and kill you for sure. Time to go kill the other Dark Elves, though. I need more skulls. I can't even summon any more hosts. That sucks. I do want to kill these guys, so I will declare an unexpected war on them. You guys are a long way from home. Don't run, no, come back here. Come on, we're friends. There, see? Easy enough. Now, one problem I do have with Khorne is that he's pretty darn bad at fighting sieges without siege equipment. He really needs an open field to just go and murder everything in sight. At least until we get some of the big monstrosities that are great at knocking down the gates. That said, I mean, once we get through the gates, we still kick some butt. Even with your disgusting magic. Ugh. Imagine being so weak you have to use mystical powers to win a fight. Couldn't be me. Man, they are using a lot of magic. These Dark Elves are annoying little boogers. Taking a lot of losses, but as long as I don't lose any actual units, we're fine. That said, siege battles in Warhammer 3 have always been really fun. Lots of different zones you'll have to capture. Every map ends up being quite different, so figuring out how to maneuver around can be pretty tricky. There's a lot of things you can do to outmaneuver opponents and try to trick them in a siege. For now, though, I'm just brute forcing it, because, you know, that's just what Khorne does. And the enemy's trying to mess with me. He wants to build up some towers, some barricades, anything to slow me down. That ain't gonna work, it's too late. There we go. We got the main victory location here at the plaza. We're gonna start building up some victory tickets. Given a little time, we will win. And there we go. We win the siege. Considering we had no siege equipment, I call this pretty decent. We didn't lose any units either. Kind of expected this to be worth a lot more skulls, if I'm honest with you. Oh, we can still sack it and get a ton. Ooh, there's the skulls I was looking for. Ooh, man. Unfortunately, we do have to occupy this one, I think. So we'll sack it first, then we'll properly occupy it. Now I just gotta take down a couple of these other little territories, and this province will be mine too. 70 essence over here, I want it. But notice, even though our economy has generally sucked throughout this campaign, we're still ending up with plenty of extra favor. I'd also like to point out that Skulltaker is currently level 24, and we're only 26 turns into the game. Ha ha ha! In fact, we get another little event here. Colossal Gorbull pounds upon the gate's brain to prove itself. Duel it, get a little XP. That's not even that much XP for Skulltaker at this point. I think I'd rather just go ahead and kill their entire herd to punish him. 1,000 more skulls for the Skull Throne. And we should definitely get this tech right here. Skulls gained from kills plus 40%. Please. You'll learn very, very quickly if you are playing as Khorne. There's never enough skulls. Oh my gosh, they've got 210 Champion's Essence over here now. Jeezums. And now, Skulltaker's level 30. It's only turn 27. Got 6 skill points out of that fight. 6 of them. Dude. Actually sickening. Actually sickening. Now I get to have a whole load of extra attack and defense and resistance for all my infantry. More speed and charge bonus for my cavalry and monsters. Leadership, melee attack, spell resistance. Oh my god. This might actually be ridiculous. I'm not even kidding. And the good news is my second army is now ready. So, you want reinforcements? I mean, with this much help, I don't even think I'm gonna need blood hosts going forward. So I can just keep sacking for skulls. Now, what do I see down here? Somebody else has killed my target? Unacceptable. You must die. I just can imagine Skulltaker giggling with glee. More enemies to slaughter in the name of Khorneth? What's not to like? Ooh, we also found a pile of skulls. Sweet, that's 260 more. Those are just hanging around in a lot of different places. We just gotta get lucky and find them. Who just left a pile of skulls hanging around, though? That's my question. I mean, thank you, that's awesome. We're also at maximum levels of bloodletting. Yes. What could I even want to add on to the Cloak of Skulls at this point? More Khorne corruption when I defeat lords? It's pretty good. Gain skulls. You always need more skulls. Cheap teleportation? Well, I'll take the skulls for sure. And let's get 30% campaign movement when we defeat a lord. Trying to get up to a tier 4 capital. So we'll get even better stuff soon. And of course, more skulls tossed onto the Skull Throne. We need to get up to 40,000 to unlock the top tier, by the way. Instantly summon a blood host at faction leader. It's pretty good, but 8,000 skulls seems a little steep considering I can do that for far cheaper if I just go kill people. And I'm always killing people. I mean, what do I do in order to get a short campaign victory? All I have to do is just loot 2 more settlements that I've already got. Oh my god. And we'll get a chainsword! But if I want the long campaign victory, occupy, loot, raise, or sack 60 settlements, huh? Empower 18 skulls, perform 8 rituals. I mean, I'm pretty close to doing that, actually. And then the domination is a straight-out 272 sacks. Wow! I mean, it's very doable. We are well on our way. I just gotta keep the train a-moving. That's the thing about Khorne. It's all about momentum. Just never, ever stop. If you do, you lose. But as long as you don't lose any fights, you're good to go. And now we are the ascendant of the Demon Princes. Now I have even more powerful unholy manifestations. Heck yes. And actually, simply by colonizing another one of these settlements using my unholy manifestation, that is the short victory officially complete. God, I can only imagine how frustrating this would be to play against in multiplayer. If I was going up against a player who by turn 30 had a, what are you now? Level 32 hero? Frick me. With a chain sword? Because of course. Like, at this point, I can't put a leash on Skulltaker. All right, he's just gonna go kill everything. Now, hello. Skaven. Would you like to be buddies? It'd be interesting if you would, because you could actually offer me some interesting units, including some pretty good plague artillery. That would actually bolster the forces of Khorne quite well. You can have this little territory down here, for now. The only real problem with playing as Khorne is you've always got to be looking for your next fight. At any point, if you're like taking 3 or 4 turns to get somewhere, that's kind of it. I mean, we could actually like travel to an enemy lord, but like I'm already there, so like I'm not gonna worry about that. But the point is, like, if we wanted to, we could actually declare war on some folks and instantly move Skulltaker somewhere else, and that could be a good opportunity to keep the conquest going. I probably should be using that more than I am. And honestly, I'd say that overall, Khorne feels reasonably well balanced right now, which sounds a little crazy considering what we're doing right now, but it's true. Because I am constantly having to make the difficult decision between sacking and getting a bunch of money as opposed to getting myself more skulls. And for real, lose momentum for even a little bit and it is all over. But keep slaughtering in Khorne's name, and good things are bound to happen. Oh, the Jade Court declares war on me. Okay. Here's a fun thing. I don't care. I'm Khorne. Go take this stuff. Doesn't really matter to me too much. Even better when you actually lose. Oh, that's pathetic, dude. That was just a stupid garrison. I don't even care. Give me your skulls. Do that again. Actually, here's a funny thought. Why don't we just teleport back up over here? Yoink! Hi, how's it going? Going to kill you now. Not even close. Get wrecked. And I'll even get myself a beautiful little blood host just to screw with you. And this is a really powerful free army, too. Dang, dude. God, I love Khorne. Khorne's always been fun. I'm just now wondering, is Skulltaker, like, actually a worthy challenger to Skarbrand? Because I'll tell you what, he sure as heck feels like it. Very, very, very fun right now playing as Khorne. Cannot recommend this enough. Give me them skulls. Oh, you're ambushing me. That's pretty cute. Didn't do you a lick of good, but it was a good try. Now he's level 41. God, it just keeps getting better and better. It really does. All I gotta do is just keep empowering the skulls a few more times, and then just sack another 20 settlements, and we got the long victory. And I'm not even really trying, to be honest. This is just non-stop aggression, and that is just the way that I and Khorne like it. And there's a lot more territory to conquer is the good news, so there's never a shortage of foes to slaughter. Once again, I want to say a very big thank you to Sega for sponsoring today's video and getting me the early access to the Omens of Destruction DLC. This has been a fun change of pace. God, Khorne is so fun. If you guys want to learn more about the upcoming DLCs, there will be a link in the description down below. Otherwise, I would ask you hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.